And we are live.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our January edition of the Victor Central School District Town Hall. I'm Tim Terranova, the proud superintendent of the Victor Central School District. And as usual, the people around me are some exceptional students in our district. We're going to talk a little bit to this group tonight. We're celebrating a group of students who are at the high school who are doing some really unique things in terms of their educational experience. So we're excited to have them. It kind of highlights, I think, in my mind, the comprehensive nature of our school district and the amazing things that our kids are doing, especially as they move into the high school and start to explore different fields and ideas for, jobs that they want to have as they get older. So I'm going to talk to these young adults for probably 25 minutes to a half an hour. Then I have a few updates for anybody who'd like to stick around and I'll give a couple updates just about things that are going on at Victor. So without further ado, let me introduce or have them introduce them to you. Alana, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell them what grade you're in and kind of the area you're focusing on.
I am a junior this year, and I'm one of the co-presidents of Medical Explorers. I'm taking anatomy, med tech, just kind of learning about what the medical field is all about.
Awesome. Thank you, Alana. Margaret, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, Margaret. Go ahead.
I'm also a co-president of Medical Explorers, and I'm taking anatomy this year to also explore the potential career path of medical.
And so Alana and Margaret are also juniors at the high school, correct? Okay. So Leah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I am in 10th grade. I'm also interested in the medical field. I am one of the vice presidents of Medical Explorers, and this year I'm taking anatomy, and the next semester I'm taking microbiology and med tech.
Wow. Fantastic, so Leah. Great to have you on. Hi, Enzo. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome.
My name is Enzo de Jesus. I am senior and I am enrolled in the New Vision Medical Program.
Thanks, Enzo. Also, Molly, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Excellent, Molly. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Molly Zugner. I'm a senior. I've been at Victor since kindergarten, and I'm looking into flight nursing. I'm committed to Case Western Reserve University, and I'll be going there next year. And I'm also in the New Visions program.
Great. Thanks, Molly. Good to have you. Hi, Madeline. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
So I'm a sophomore right now, and I'm planning on radiology. So I'm taking anatomy, and I am here to talk about the fact that I had a brain hemorrhage in 2019.
Yeah, it's a very unique situation you went through, Madeline. So I'm looking forward to hearing that, what the story behind it and why you're interested in what you're interested. So thanks for being here. Jackson, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I'm a senior and I'm also in the New Vision Medical Careers program. And so we spend our day in FF Thompson Hospital.
Great. Thanks for being here, Jackson.
Of course.
And last but certainly not least, Chaz, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
My name is Chaz Camagero. I go by Chaz, and I'm part of the AM New Visions medical program, and I take AP Bio in the afternoon.
Great. Thanks, Chaz. Thanks, everybody. I didn't forget anybody, did I? All right. So here's my first question for all of you, because you have such, I know you're very busy people and you're working really hard on ideas and concepts in terms of what you want to accomplish when you get older. So maybe just tell us a little bit why you're interested in the field you're interested in, and maybe what led you to the program or the courses you're in right now. Chaz, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So since I was a child, I've always been exposed to healthcare. A lot of my family members are physicians, but what really reaffirmed my interest in medicine was in the summer of 2021, my mom was actually diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So that really put me in a position to see how medicine can really transform people's lives. And I wanted to be a part of a journey like that for not only people like my mom, but just a lot of people in society who are struggling with diseases.
Thanks, Chaz. That's really important, and it's a great reason to go into the field you're in. And you're in you're going to New Visions?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Jackson, you want to talk a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing?
Sure. So in my experience with the natural science courses, I've taken AP Chem and AP Bio, and I'm doing physics this year. And so I really love the problem solving aspect of the medical field, and I want to be able to explore that and all the job possibilities aligned with that.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
And you're obviously a senior, so got a huge future ahead of you. Molly, how about you? Another one of our seniors.
Yeah, so growing up, I was a soccer goalie, so I got hurt a lot. And I would go to the hospital once in a while, and I always thought it was so interesting how everything worked and how everyone had a position. So I looked a lot more into it growing up, and I'm looking into flight nursing, which is specifically like a mercy flight type thing. So what drew me to that basically is I love flying and I really like helping people. So yeah.
Now, Molly, are you going to fly the helicopters, or are you going to work in the helicopters on saving the people's lives?
I'd probably be the person in the back of the helicopter, likely stabilizing, taking vitals, pushing meds, things like that.
Okay. They're both really important jobs, definitely. Enzo, how are you today?
Hello. Good. Ever since I was little, science has always been like the most interesting subject out of all of them. And biological sciences specifically have been like very multifaceted and interested to me, like all the puzzle aspects of it as well, like Jackson mentioned. And I really like the team building aspect of medicine and how you have to work together and listen to other people and acknowledge their ideas as well. And yeah, I like to help people doing theater and things like that. Being involved in the community has like opened my eyes to those things as well. So yeah.
Great. Thanks, Enzo. Appreciate it. It's great that you have, multiple interests too, because obviously you're in the theater and the fine arts and the performing arts, but also certainly the science background is neat. Margaret, good to see you.
Good to see you too. I've always been interested in science, and the fact that the medical field is always evolving and never like at like a certain like constant. I like that it's always like changing, and so I can always like come up with new ideas and develop better technology to help people.
And Margaret, you're in the New Visions program?
No, I'm gonna apply for it this coming spring to be in it my senior.
I should know this. Is New Visions only for seniors, or can juniors take it too? It's just for seniors right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you see yourself, Margaret, moving into that in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And Alana, how about you?
Both of my parents are in the medical field, so I've been exposed to medicine since I was very young. A couple weeks ago, I was able to observe a surgery, which was very interesting. It was an open heart surgery, and so that kind of affirmed my interest in medicine.
Wow. You observed an open heart surgery.
Yes.
And you're not even in the New Visions program yet, right?
No, I'm not.
Wow. How did you take it? Was it a little rough at first, or were you able to take the I guess I'd say just the blood and the whole thing with a surgery going on?
It was a little shocking at first, but it was really cool.
It's awesome. And you actually saw the person's heart?
I did, yes.
Cool. All right, that's pretty neat, Alana. And now we move to our 10th graders. So Madeline, tell us a little bit about what you're interested in and why you're interested in it.
So I'm actually planning on going into radiology because after the major part of the healing process was done with my brain hemorrhage, I started getting really interested in looking at my MRIs and angiograms.
And so without, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but when did you have the hemorrhage in your brain?
On June 23rd, 2019.
And obviously that was incredibly serious, but it sounds like it really, after you recovered, it really made you think about just the people who actually helped you and what could be done for people who experience these things, sounds like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had no like intentions of going into the medical field beforehand. I thought it was too much work.
But this definitely changed your mind.
Mhm.
Thanks for sharing that, Madeline. Appreciate it. And so Leah, how about your background?
So science has always been my favorite subject in school. And when I first, originally I never really knew anything about the medical field, but in high school with the courses I'm taking and the club I'm in, I've been able to learn a lot more, and learning that the medical field is all about helping people using modern day scientific knowledge really appealed to me and sparked my interest in this field.
That's great. And so Leah, you're a sophomore, correct?
Correct.
Who wants to talk a little bit about New Visions? Because I think there's not a lot of people don't know exactly what that is, but it's one of the greatest programs I've ever seen. It's pretty unique. So anybody want to go? Molly, you want to start? And then anybody can add on to Molly's information. Go ahead, Molly.
So like we mentioned earlier, New Visions is a program for seniors. And basically what we do is we have a building across the street from Thompson Hospital in Canandaigua. And for Chaz, I know is in the morning, but the majority of Victor students are usually in the afternoon, as I'm aware. And we have some classes in the morning, or like I said, for Chaz, some classes in the afternoon. And the other half of our day, we're in the hospital or on our shadowing days. So 2 days a week we shadow. And then the other days we have an English rotation. And then we also have lecture days and medical terminology. So it's basically a program that prepares us for multiple fields of medicine, and it allows us to explore through our shadowing a bunch of different areas and kind of get hands-on experiences to figure out what we might want to do in the future.
Wow. Anybody want to add on to Molly? Molly, that was excellent, by the way. Enzo.
By the end of the year, we'll have 150 plus hours of shadowing and 100 hours of volunteering, because we participate in a lot of volunteering for the hospital. We've already done some volunteering for the geriatric community. And a lot of our classes are also linked with FLCC. So we get, I think it's 12 Gemini credits from the culmination of our classes.
And it's all different medical fields, or do you pick one area and do that the whole year?
So we have 3 periods where we go through all of the fields in the hospital to make sure that we know which one we're most interested in. And then at the end of the year, we actually request for our own internship with any physician, nurse, or mid-level that we like the most. And then we actually reach out to them, write our letters for them, and then they have to accept us to allow us to shadow them.
Wow, that's great. Jackson, you're in New Visions, right?
Yep.
What's
Yeah,
maybe
I think Enzo and Molly have done a pretty complete job of describing it.
what's one thing, Jackson, that really stands out to you around being in the New Visions program? Like, what do you
Well,
like the most?
My favorite part has been the experience in the operating room. So like you know about the shows and talking about the medicine, but to be able to actually observe it firsthand has been pretty incredible.
It's awesome. And Chaz, you're at a different time period than the rest of them. You're in the afternoon. Did I get that
No,
right?
I'm in the morning.
Okay. And what is your take, so to speak, of the New Visions program and what you're experiencing? Because I know as you said, your family has a lot of medical people in it.
Yeah, so like Jackson even mentioned too, like it's one thing to watch the shows, watch videos, watch documentaries, but it's a whole nother thing to actually be in an operating room, for instance, or even just last week I was shadowing in labor and delivery, and I got to see a live birth, which was something that was really amazing, because OBGYN was never something I was necessarily interested at first, but being able to see someone give birth and being there in the room with the woman and her family was definitely a beautiful thing, and it exposes you to new opportunities that you never thought you would necessarily study or pursue firsthand.
That's amazing, Chaz. How do you get into the New Visions program?
So you submit an application. There's an application that goes out, and you submit an application, you write an essay, a personal essay just as you would for like a college application. And it's a highly competitive process. They actually go through all the applicants, and obviously just it's almost like college admissions. They look at your service hours, look at volunteer work, look at clubs that you've been a part of, and they go through that and they pick the candidates for the program.
Wow. And so you play as juniors then, right? All right, and then kind of it's a little bit different, but it's really a cool group, and that's our medical explorers. So who wants to talk a little bit about the medical explorers?
So we usually meet every other Thursday, and every week is something different. So a couple weeks ago, we had some speaker come in with ALS, and they got to speak about that. This Thursday, we're talking about suturing, and then our plans for the upcoming month.
And so how many of you, and it's fine either way, there's no right answer. How many of you in the medical explorers are interested potentially in New Visions when you become seniors? Anybody, or is that a different path? So
I'm
Leah,
interested,
I'm
yes.
interested. Yeah.
yeah, that would be definitely interesting for all of you, just something in, and again, you don't have to be in the New Visions program to end up in the medical field. It's just one opportunity that's very unique. That helps kids at Victor to get those experiences. Obviously, Alana, you were able to see a surgery without even being in the New Visions program, right?
Yeah,
And you're in the medical explorers too?
I am. Yes.
And that's Mrs. Spitzer, I think, is our advisor, correct?
Yes.
What's the fascinating thing about the medical explorers that you've liked, Alana?
We get to do a lot of hands-on experiences. Like there was this phlebotomy arm that we were able to see. And we get to have a lot of cool speakers come in and talk about different things from like different things that they deal with. Or I know last year we had a nutritionist come in and talk about that. So you get to learn about a lot of cool different like career paths.
That's great. Now, Madeline, you're sitting here as a sophomore listening to all this. As you see yourself becoming a junior or a senior, certainly you don't have to try to go New Visions or even the medical explorers or other things. What are you thinking about in terms of maybe your course selection as you get to become a junior and a senior?
I definitely want to take med tech, but aside from that, I'm not 100% sure.
Could you say that one more time? It was just a little soft. There you go. Say it one more time. Pullman.
I said I'm planning on taking med tech, but aside from that, I'm not really 100% sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a junior course.
I think so, yeah.
Yep, that's awesome. All right, well, I think this is a great lesson for a lot of other kids, especially freshmen and sophomore who have opportunities, might have these opportunities in front of them. How did you find out about things like medical explorers and New Visions and other, like, what is it broadcast pretty strongly across through your school counselors, or how did you end up finding out about it? Go ahead, Enzo. Just you go.
I found out through a friend that did it last year. So through her experience, I was able to know what it was and then ask my counselor about it and get all the information.
Okay. Anybody find out differently than that?
I knew it through an email that was sent out, and then I later got in contact with my counselor and she explained the program to me further.
Okay. How about the medical explorers? How did you find out about that club?
I found out about it through the announcements in the morning last year as a sophomore.
It's always
And then
good
I
to
j-
listen to the announcements.
Yeah, so I just started going to meetings as a sophomore, and then this year I had the opportunity to become a co-president with Alana.
It's pretty cool being the co-president with Alana, isn't it? Did you guys like have to tie in the votes, or did you guys just decide to do it?
Last year there was 2 co-presidents, so we just did the same thing this year, but last year they were both seniors, so me and Alana both decided we wanted to just fill their spots.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, just 3 more questions and I'm gonna let you go. All right. What has been a positive part of your education? Like what's positive about Victor Central School District? We always try to do strengths and then maybe areas of growth that we can work on, which is a good thing, but what's the strength of Victor Central School District? Anybody can go. Just shout it out.
I was gonna highlight our music program. So as I'm sorry, we have started rehearsing for Titanic the musical right now, and I think the theater program and the music program as a whole is a super unique part of Victor. I've also been playing violin since I was in 3rd grade. So for me, I've always had that special connection with music teachers. And I just think it's really great. Like me and Enzo are in the New Visions program and we're still able to be a part of the shows and attend rehearsals and everything. So I think specifically for me, I would say the strength of our music program.
Great.
Yeah, I think that Victor has a wonderful variety in courses. So even if you're interested, like really going for medicine, you can still like do things like music or like your sports, or if you're interested in like law, you can still do law, or like you can do things at the same time so that you don't have to be completely set on one thing. And I think that has been also a positive experience for me.
I would say the staff throughout my years in high school, and even before high school and like the junior high and early childhood, I've met a lot of great teachers and a lot of great staff members who have made an impact in my education.
Great. Anybody else want to share a positive about the district, or something that has really helped you in terms of a program or a positive nature?
So this is actually only my 3rd year.
You're on. There you go, Madeline. Yeah.
So this is actually only my 3rd year at Victor, and I've noticed that the teachers seem a lot more supportive about like mental health and stuff than the teachers at Canandaigua.
And I'm sure there's people in Canandaigua that care about you, but it sounds like as you moved into Victor, you found some really caring people that have supported that.
Yeah.
Yep. Anybody else want to share anything out?
I like the variety of classes that Victor offers. I am able to take like a lot of science-based classes such as anatomy, but I'm also taking accounting right now, which I also enjoy, because at first I was unsure if I wanted to pursue a career in business or if I was interested in the medical field. But with taking both classes, like I really solidified that I want to pursue a medical career.
Great. Why don't we shift over to how about, especially as superintendent, it's important for me to just get feedback from everybody around how things are going. What are some areas or an area that you might think could be improved that would help future kids as they go through Victor?
I think for me, I've had a good experience with my counselors and with college prep, but I feel like we could start that a little bit earlier. Like I've been going through my scholarship opportunities and my applications, and I found that I'm lacking in some areas that I think could have been pretty easily addressed if we had started even just learning about this, not even working with them, but learning about this process a little bit earlier. I think would have been better suited for this application process.
Thanks, Jackson. Good feedback.
I was gonna say one thing I would suggest is for the New Visions program, a lot of people, when I bring it up, aren't 100% sure what it is or even knew that it existed. So I think definitely making sure we advertise that, and our BOCES programs as well. I know there's a bunch of kids doing cosmetology, woodworking, a bunch of things like that. So I think it's very important that we introduce opportunities like that to the student body to know that there's other things they can pursue outside of just in Victor High School.
Great. Thanks, Molly.
Something that I would hope to at least see in the years in the future. I know a lot of work goes into course selections and finding teachers to teach courses, but I feel like a wider selection of courses available to students would be beneficial, especially like for a program such as New Visions. Not everybody gets in. So if programs could be made that would be available to students who maybe are still interested, but they weren't able to move on with the application process, and they could still be able to experience things such as we do, or even just be introduced to the medical field in other ways that the school would be able to provide would be good.
Thanks, Chaz. Anybody else with anything? All right, so our last question then. This would be a shout out to a staff member, either from the high school or just somebody at Victor Central School has really made a huge impact on your life. It's good to give gratitude towards others. So who wants to go first?
I'd like to thank Miss Melma. She's been really monumental in helping me decide which career path I want to take. And yeah, she's been a great teacher and a great friend.
Miss Melima?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Enzo. Appreciate it.
Kind of on that, probably Mr. Arnold, because like I've had him since freshman year, and he's just kind of like helped me out with all schoolwork type stuff.
That's awesome. Does he know how your Twitter handle and how active you are on social media?
I don't know about that, but I know Mr. Donroe does.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Maddie is incredibly active on Twitter, keeps in touch with me. Maddie, I got bad news for you. I don't think we're having a snow day tomorrow. So it's only gonna get 4 inches of
Everybody's
snow.
gonna be so disappointed in me, Mr. Terranova. You can't do this to me.
Yeah, I know. It's just not good enough. There's barely 4 inches of snow. All right. I just want to clear it now. You can put something on Twitter later if you want. Who wants to go next?
I want to thank Mr. Wiest. He's been great with coaching and with my college process. He's been super accommodating with practices and coming back from New Vision. I was always a little bit late, so he made the time for me, and he's been able to give me great advice and great coaching through the years.
It's awesome. And he's not only been your coach, but you've taken some of his classes too, right?
Yeah, I was in his comp sci class for 3 classes.
It's great, Jackson.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to give a shout out to Mrs. Metelsky in the early childhood. When I had her as a child, she was very inspirational and she helped me when I needed help. And as far as the high school, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Purdy. And I'm sure a lot of students can also say he was very inspirational to them and very helpful when they needed him.
Thank you, Chaz. I'm sure they'll definitely appreciate that. It's great that you kind of reached back to your early childhood days to remember somebody who made a big difference on your early life. So fantastic. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mrs. Judge for being such a kind and compassionate and welcoming human being. She's amazing. She's the orchestra teacher at the high school. And also Mr. Halloran, because he allows me to sit in on his anatomy class and kind of observe and help the students with things such as dissections and work.
That's great, Molly. I know they'll appreciate it. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mrs. Tortorella because she was an engaging and passionate teacher, and she just like always helped me, was willing to help me whenever I needed help.
English, right?
She teaches math.
Math. I can't believe I messed that up, Margaret. What did you have, Mrs. Tortorella?
I had her for algebra 2 and then the end of the year for geometry.
Wow. Awesome. She'll definitely appreciate that. Thank you. Who's left? We got Alana and is that it?
I'd like to give a shout
So
out
Leah
to,
didn't go either yet. Sorry. Alana, go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Dunbar. I had her freshman year for bio and then this year again for med tech. She's just a very fun person to be around, very funny, very easy to talk to. I love being in her class.
So now, I'm sorry, Alana, I keep put you on the spot. So med tech, say a little bit about that course.
So med tech is, you learn about like careers in the medical field, and like you learn about like, we just did like triage, and then we worked on like the suture kits a little bit, and then again like the phlebotomy arm. So it's more just like getting an insight on like different things that you could do in the medical field.
And then I'm assuming that leads to some, for at least for some of our students, into the New Visions program. All right, so it's like a feeder ground for that. Is it mostly juniors who take it, Alana?
Yeah, and I think there are some seniors in the class as well.
Is it year long or a semester?
It's just half a year. So
Half a
one
year.
semester.
And you're taking it now?
Yes.
And then, not to keep putting you on the spot, that is there another medical course you could take your spring semester, or do you have to do something different?
I'm not taking anything
Okay,
in the spring, but I know that there's like microbiology and forensics, and I'm taking anatomy right now as well.
great. Thank you, Alana. I know Mrs. Dunbar will appreciate it as well. And Solia, I would never forget you. Don't worry.
So I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Stoutenberg. She's my anatomy teacher. This is actually my first year having her as a teacher, and she's really great, understanding. She makes anatomy a lot easier than a lot of other teachers probably could, but she makes so anatomy could be really difficult to understand, and it's a lot of memorization, but Mrs. Stout, she makes it really easy, and that's why I love her so much.
That's awesome. Because you're right, that courses like that can be really tough if all you do is memorize stuff.
Yes.
But if the teacher makes it real for you and gives you the deeper concepts around what you're doing and why you're doing it, you end up, a lot of you really enjoying it, and that leads to more courses that are even more challenging, but you can do them. So it's a great point, Solia. And as a sophomore, that's really important. So, did I miss anybody? Everybody get a chance to go? You were all amazing. Just, different backgrounds, different grade levels, but each and every one of you is unique and headed for great things. I guess my only message would be to the seniors, and I say this all the time, don't put too much pressure on yourselves. A lot of you right now are trying to figure out what to do. Some of you already know what you're going to do next year. Some of you are in the middle of it. Enjoy your senior year. You only get one of them, and you're basically into the second half of it now. So just take a deep breath, enjoy the time. And for the rest of you, our sophomores and juniors, it's great to have you with us for a while. Again, same thing to you. I know junior year can be a little stressful. So don't worry about things. Just do your best. You're headed for great things. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to be on with us, because I know you're busy people. So thank you very much. Okay. Have a great evening. And I'm going to stick around. Mr. Isaacs will send you guys out of the Zoom, or you could send yourselves out if you'd like. And then I'm just going to give up to the people watching a few updates about the school district that I wanted to make sure people understood. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you for having
Thank you,
us.
Dr. Terranova.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. So as
Also,
our amazing high school students leave us, which is a great example of why we're here every day, I just want to give a couple updates to the public. I know we had the real difficult situation with the Buffalo Bills and DeMar Hamlin a few weeks ago, and thank goodness he's okay. It led to some questions of our own, from people just around, what do we do in an emergency situation where, seconds are the most important thing. And it's kind of ironic that we talked to a bunch of kids who are excited about potentially the medical field, and to have them on while we talk about this. But I just want to give a brief update because under our nursing staff and Mr. Weimer, our athletic director, we really have set up some great systems around safety procedures. So we have a variety of AED machines that are annually inspected by a company called Cardiac Life. And I'm going to talk about where they are. Our physical education teachers and all coaches have valid certifications for first aid and CPR and AED. And we track that for over 120 individuals in our district. We also require our coaches to take the NHFS Learn Sudden Cardiac Arrest online course every 2 years. It's not a requirement for certification. However, Victor Central started requiring this in the fall of 2022. So this is actually a really important thing for our staff and especially our coaches to understand. All of our senior high students are trained in hands-only CPR and physical education classes. And in the case of an emergency, there's a whole protocol in place on what to do. And the most certified personnel take the leadership first, which would start with our EMTs or our athletic trainers. We have, and I've given him a shout out multiple times because he deserves it, Ian Hurlbert is our main trainer. through the Rochester Medical System. But we also have other trainers when Ian can't be here. But he does a great job for us, kind of overseeing the whole program. We also have directions and a template for everybody on how to operate it, because there could be a time when an AED machine needs to be operated by somebody who's not trained in it. And that's why it's important that the directions are there and it's very clear on how to do it. We have a variety of AED machines. We have one in the bus garage. We have 4 located in the senior high school, 2 in the junior high school, 1 each in the intermediate and the early childhood school. We have 2 in the primary school, 1 in our boardroom in the ECS. We also have outdoor locations, especially in the fall. We have the press box to Corbett Field, the tennis courts, the soccer field, and our golf coach always has one on him. And then in the spring, we also have one at Corbett Field, the baseball field, the softball field, the tennis courts. And again, our golf coach carries one because they obviously have meets or matches, at a variety of locations. And then we also try to make sure they're on site at unique locations like hockey rinks and those types of things. So we have an extensive background with the health and safety information and health and safety emergency procedures to use. So I feel really strongly as superintendent that with our constant training, and we continue to reflect on where we should have AED machines and how we have them, that we would be in a situation to hopefully save a life quickly if needed. So we continue to look at that, but I just wanted to give people an update around it because I know it's on people's minds. Second update, and I have 3 of them. My second one is just a general timeline for our budget process. You know that we have a yearly budget that is voted on in May. We have started the budget process for the 2023-24 school year. We have already had one presentation at our last board meeting in January on the first aspects of our budget for 23-24. And this Thursday is our next budget hearing at 6:30 p.m. in the boardroom. It'll also be live streamed, as all of our board meetings and board workshops are scheduled. So it's a board workshop, budget workshop scheduled for January 26th at 6:30 p.m. Goes for about half an hour to 45 minutes. And again, it'll be live streamed. And we're going to continue on these presentations in February and March. What's unique about this year is we have our general fund, which is our yearly budget, which we have talked about obviously every year. We have made some significant progress financially in the last 3 years, where we've actually been able to increase staff across multiple areas, especially areas that have been understaffed for many years. So we've increased our staff. We've stabilized our reserves or our savings accounts in order to be able to fund unique emergency situations as well as long-term projects, which I'll talk about in a second. And despite the increasing in staff and the stabilization of reserves since 2019, the actual average tax rate across the Victor Central School District has decreased slightly. So we have a slightly decreased tax rate. We have an increase in staffing, especially in areas that were understaffed for a long period of time, and we stabilized our reserves. And those are the real 3 things that we're focused on all the time. Spending our money in the right, most important places. That's obviously critical. Don't spend more money than you have, and try to save a little money as you move through each year, similar to a homeowner. So we're very excited about our financial situation. We have that budget process where we're as transparent as possible. We'll do town halls on the budget as well as budget hearings and budget presentations. The unique thing about this year is we also are going to have a capital project. And a capital project is really something that's outside the general fund, the large expenses that are necessary to keep a district thriving and surviving through time, so we don't have to take money out of the general fund and use large percentage of it for major construction projects or repairs. When you have to do that, when you have to utilize your own general fund or your yearly budget to pay for large expenses, it takes money away from our kids because we have to spend it on those big repairs or renovations. And B, we don't get the state aid we would get if it comes out of one of our reserves, such as the capital reserve. So typically districts every 3 to 5 years have a capital project to maintain their facilities. This year, we have started the process of planning our next capital project. And that's going to include things that involve significant repairs. Also will include some things that involve innovative classroom and facilities design, including safety and security needs. And certainly we are going to attempt to address at least some of our space needs. It's a very tight district, one campus, you know that. We've had over 4,300 kids right now. We have over 4,300 kids, including pre-K. So it's tight in many of our buildings in terms of space. And that's an area that we're looking at to potentially at least improve to some degree through this capital project. Ultimately, we are going to have public presentations on the potential capital project in March, April, and May. So that's where we would just want to make sure people understand the two different financial items that are occurring at the same time. We have the regular budget process, which presentations in January, February, March, and then the board would ultimately adopt and approve the budget in April, while then it would go to the community in May for a vote. And then similar time frame, we're going to be really starting to publicly talk about our next capital project in March, April, and May. Right about the time the budget vote occurs in May will be the time that the board finalizes and approves the next capital project. And then we hope to have a vote within the community in July of 2023 on the next capital project. So, and the reason we're having the vote in July is twofold. One, we want to have more money in our capital reserve, hopefully through some savings that we occur this year, which will then allow us to utilize that money to pay for the capital project, because the state does really advantage us by using capital reserve money, ultimately up to 3 to 3.5 times the value. So for example, if you had $10 million in your capital reserve, you could potentially pay for a $30 to $35 million capital project because of the state aid that we get back from using that money. So we want to put more money in our capital reserve if we're able to do so. And that occurs at the end of this school year, June 30th. So after July 1st, we'll have more money. But then we want to do the vote early in the school year because we want to get started if it's approved by the public, and obviously the community has to approve it. We want to get the vote out quickly so that we can actually have the capital project completed earlier than if we waited till November or December for the vote. So budget vote in May, capital project vote in July. Lots of information coming forward to our community. We're seeking input as well on both things, both our budget and our capital project during this time. And we'll have a lot more to discuss about it. So I just wanted to kind of give a summary of that, those two procedures that are occurring in the next few months. And again, we'll talk a lot more about it, both on the town hall and in other venues. And then last, but certainly not least, I just want to give a few quick shout outs to different groups and people. First of all, our arts students, 8 of them submitted artwork to the Rochester Institute of Technology Student Art Show that started this past Friday night and goes until February 4th. 2 of our students, Amanda Miller and Bella Mann, actually won awards at this RIT show. So we're congratulating Amanda and Bella and all the students who participated in contributing artwork. We have one of the strongest fine arts programs in the entire state. It's amazing. And this is just another example of how our students in art really do amazing work that actually wins awards as well. Also, thanks to our athletic department and the collaboration with the Canandaigua Central School District, who put on the Scott Zahn Memorial Classic. It had to be rescheduled because of the weather from December. So we had it last Saturday night. Ended up having both our girls varsity and our boys varsity basketball teams play Canandaigua on Saturday at FLCC. And despite it being rescheduled, it was a huge crowd. The tournament is named for Scott Zahn, who was a legendary coach, teacher, and mentor in both the towns of Canandaigua and Victor, and really mentored and influenced positively thousands of kids, and passed away far too soon in 2019. This is a great memorial, a memory for his life, because significant money was raised not only for the Victor Farmington cupboard, but also Gleaners Community Food Kitchen. So I know Scott, although I didn't know him personally, I've heard so many stories about what an amazing person he was. I know he would be honored by having this. And another unique thing about Saturday night was Scott's daughter, Ashley, is our varsity girls basketball coach, and the varsity girls team won the game on Saturday night. And that program is really moving forward in a positive manner. And so it's kind of neat that Ashley, Scott's daughter, is our varsity girls coach. So big shout out to that. Also, just a reminder on some important events coming up. We have through the PTSA and our PI organization, this January 31st at 7 p.m. They're going to have a meeting for all junior high and senior high parents interested in advanced opportunities. And it's not just for our high school parents. It'd be great to see our junior high parents there, because the different administrators at the senior high district office and the high school are going to be presenting, thanks to our PTSA and PI organizations. Again, that's January 31st, 7 p.m. in the ECS boardroom. February 3rd, this is an amazing event, really, through our primary school. The Lucky to Be Loved glow dance, craft show, and overall fun events will be occurring. And it's for our VPS students and a special adult in their family who they love. That's going to occur at VPS from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. That's also sponsored by our amazing PTSA. And folks need to register by February 1st if they want to attend the Lucky to Be Loved dance and crafts event at the VPS on February 3rd. The next day, Saturday, February 4th, is a major Winter Guard home show competition from 4 to approximately 7:30 to 8 p.m. at the Victor Senior High Gymnasium. This is a huge show. Again, our Winter Guard is amazing. It will also include our VIPE percussion group, and they'll be competing against a variety of districts from across the area. Again, 4 to 7:30 p.m. February 4th in our senior high gymnasium. And then February 11th is Super Science Saturday, again, connected to our PTSA. It's an environmental expo from 10 a.m. till 12 noon at the VPS. That's February 11th. Everything about science for kids. And probably one of the best attractions at this event will be a special demonstration by the Victor Robotics team, who's practicing for competitions as we speak. So that's February 11th. And then just a shout out for the SPOT organization. The SPOT provides free school supplies, clothing, food, and shoes from UPK all the way to 12th grade students in need. And this has started in the Canandaigua area and has moved now to Victor, thanks to some strong leadership from a variety of adults. And we have the SPOT now located in all 3 of our elementary buildings. We also have a grand opening, we hope will be the second week of February at the junior high school. And so the junior high is having a collection drive for items such as food supplies, school supplies, clothing, and shoes. That collection drive will occur at the junior high school from January 30th through February 3rd. And again, there'll be donation bins in the main office, main entrance area at the junior high. And it'll all go along to gear us up for opening a SPOT location at the junior high the second week of February. It's an amazing thing and really helps our kids and our family. So those are some shout outs and some announcements. Appreciate you listening. If you have any questions or comments, please email me or call my office. Love to have those conversations, and we'll be on again in February with another town hall. So have a great night and take care. And thank you to Mr. Aaron Isaacs, as always, for helping us produce this broadcast. Thank you.